God's mercy always lifts us up. Last Sunday, we celebrated the Lord's resurrection. Today, we witness the resurrection of his disciples. It has already been a week since the disciples have seen the risen Lord. But in spite of this, they remained fearful, cringing behind closed doors, fearful of the Jews, unable even to convince Thomas, the one absent, of the resurrection. What does Jesus do in the face of this timorous lack of belief? He returns and, standing in the exact same place, in the midst of their disciples, he repeats his greeting, "Peace be with you." And he starts all over. The resurrection of his disciples begins here, from this faithful and patient mercy, from the discovery that God never tires of reaching out to lift us up when we fall. He wants us to see him not as a taskmaster with whom we have to settle accounts, but as our Father, who always raises us up. In life, we go forward tentatively, uncertainly, like a toddler who takes a few steps and then falls, a few steps more and falls again. Yet each time, our Father puts us back on our feet. The hand that always puts us back on our feet is mercy. God knows that without mercy, we will remain on the ground, that in order to keep walking, we need to be put back on our feet. You may object, but I keep falling. The Lord knows this, and he is always ready to raise you up again. He does not want us to keep thinking about our failings. Rather, he wants us to look to him. For when we fall, he sees children needing to be put back on their feet. In our failings, he sees children in need of his merciful love. Today, in this church that has become a shrine of mercy in Rome, and on this Sunday, the St. John Paul II dedicated to the divine mercy over 20 years ago, we confidently welcome this message. Jesus said to St. Faustina, "I am love and mercy itself." There is no human misery that could measure up to my mercy. From her diary of September of 1937. At one time, the saint, with satisfaction, told Jesus that she had offered him all of her life and all that she had. But Jesus' answer stunned her. "You have not offered me the thing that is truly yours." What had the holy nun kept for herself? Jesus said to her with great kindness, "My daughter, give me your failings." October 1937. We too can ask ourselves, have I given my failings to the Lord? Have I let him see me fall so that he can raise me up? Or is there something I still keep inside me? A sin, a regret from the past, a wound that I have inside, a grudge against someone, an idea about a particular person. The Lord waits for us to offer him our failings so that he can help us experience his great mercy. Let us go back to the disciples. They had abandoned the Lord at his passion and felt guilty. But meeting them, Jesus did not give a long sermon. To them who were wounded within, he shows his own wounds. Thomas can now touch them and know of Jesus' love and how much Jesus had suffered for him even though he had abandoned him. In those wounds, he touches with his own hands God's tender closeness. Thomas arrived late, but once he received mercy, he overtook the other disciples, and he believed not only in the resurrection, but in the boundless love of God. And he makes the most simple and beautiful profession of faith. My love, my Lord, and my God. Here is the resurrection of this disciple. It is accomplished when his frail and wounded humanity enters into that of Jesus. There, every doubt is resolved. There, God becomes my God. There we begin to accept ourselves and to love life as it is. On this feast of divine mercy, the most beautiful message comes from Thomas, the disciple who arrived late. He was the only one missing. But the Lord waited for Thomas. Mercy does not abandon those who stay behind. Now, while we are looking forward to a slow and arduous recovery from this pandemic, and as we pray for the people of Ukraine, that they stay strong and that we help them with everything in our power to keep them fed, to keep their hospitals running, and to help them fight against the evil Russians again. There is a danger that we will forget those who are left behind. The risk is that we may then be struck by an even worse virus, that of selfish indifference. A virus spread by the thought that life is better if it is better for me, that everything will be fine if it is fine for me. It begins there and ends up selecting one person over another, discarding the poor and sacrificing those behind on the altar of progress. The present pandemic, however, reminds us that there are no differences or borders between those who suffer. May we be profoundly shaken by what is happening all around us. The time has come to eliminate inequalities, to heal the injustice that is undermining the health of the entire human family. Let us learn from the early Christian community described in the Acts of the Apostles. It received mercy and lived with mercy. All who believed were together and had all things in common. This is not some ideology. This is Christianity. In that community, after the resurrection of Jesus, only one was left behind, and the others waited for him. Today, as we go forward in reflection, it seems to be the case that a small part of the human family has moved ahead, while the majority has remained behind, all based on income. Each of us could say, these are complex problems. It is not my job to take care of the needy. Others have to be concerned about it. Saint Faustina, after meeting Jesus, wrote, in a soul that is suffering, we should see Jesus on the cross, not a parasite or a burden. Lord, you give us the chance to practice the deeds of mercy, and we practice making judgments. September 1937. Yet she herself complained one day to Jesus that in being merciful, one is thought to be naive. She said, Lord, they often abuse my goodness. And Jesus replied, never mind, don't let it bother you. Just be merciful to everyone, always. December 1937. Be merciful to everyone. Let us not think only of our interests, our vested interests. Let us welcome this time of trial as an opportunity to prepare for our collective future, a future for all without discarding anyone. Because without an all-embracing vision, there will be no future for anyone. Let us all put forth our prayers, our ideas, our thoughts for everyone in the Ukraine, for all those refugees that have gone forth to Poland and that are now trying to get forward into other European countries and the United States. We must open our doors to these people to help them so that they do not lose their children's childhoods. They do not lose the years of their lives where they should be the most productive, as has happened in Syria, as has happened in Yemen, as has happened in so many damned countries because of the xenophobia in this country. And that is the greatest sin of all. Today, the simple and disarming love of Jesus revives the heart of his disciple. Like the Apostle Thomas, let us accept mercy, the salvation of the world. And let us show mercy to those who are most vulnerable, for only in this way will we build a new world.